All right, so welcome back to episode 4 of Grail Talk. Today, all the co-hosts are here, Baz, Brendo, and myself, and we've got a special guest on today. We've got Daniel from Addicted to Kicks over at Instagram. What's up, boys?
How's it going?
Yo.
Yeah, fucking good. So, obviously, you guys all know who we are, but we want to introduce you to Addicted to Kicks. So, Daniel, do you want to give us a bit of a rundown on who you are and what you do for the community?
Yeah, no worries. So I run a page called Addicted to .kicks. That's on Instagram. It's been running for a little over a year now, specialising mostly in ASIC Kano 20s and TNs.
Yeah, the Kano 20s I've been seeing, you've been stacking up a fair few heaters because I know back when you first had your page, I remember you had a pair of raspberries and I saw you got another pair the other day.
Yeah, I did. I was just lucky to source another pair. That came out of Ryan Humphreys and collabed with Warehouse Click to get that done. So, yeah, I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah, it's definitely a grail. So, each week we're going to be talking about a grail of the week. So what was the best grail we've seen from a reseller's page throughout the week? Something to mention. So I'll kick it off and give a big shout out to Nike TN for Life. I saw the dead stock liquid metals from 12. They were absolutely killer grails. Definitely the top-notch pair I saw this week.
Yeah, definitely. Nike TN for life, man. That guy's nuts.
Yeah, he's crazy. All right, so what's your grails of the week, boys?
My grail of the week would go to a European seller. He's actually not really a seller, it's more of a showcase account, but his Instagram's MX90 enthusiast, and not MX90, sorry, 95, and it was the 2007 JD Neptunes, which were a JD exclusive.
Yeah, I saw fucking those. They look fresh. What about you, Brendo?
We definitely have to go for Nike 10 France with the 5 sets of hates from 2005. I just thought that was really killer. You know, looks like spot on condo. I'm looking at the photo right now.
Did he post up 5 pairs?
Yeah, five pairs, bro. Yeah, 5 pairs of 2015 hates. You know, the OG hates. Killer, absolute killer. Shit on the newer pairs as well. It's really amazing.
Yeah, word, that is killer. I didn't see that, but I do love the more authentic OG pairs of TNs going around. Always good to showcase that. And Daniel, what was your grail of the week?
Oh, man, probably wasn't this week. I haven't seen too much that I've been interested in the week before with the raspberries that we're just talking about. But I've actually found a couple of K20s over in France. There's a seller over there. He's actually got, I don't know how to pronounce the name on the account, but he's actually got a few K20s that I believe could be some good grails to get hold of. I think it's Al Kappa or something along those lines.
Yep, Al Kappa.
I've never heard of him, but I'll definitely have a look. Is it some Euro exclusive Kano 20s?
Yeah, so he's got one pair of Euro exclusives. He's also got another women's pair that I haven't above a 10.5 women's ever. He's got them in a 12. So I'm just in the middle of talking to him, and I'm going to send him some money very shortly for all 3. He's also got a pair of Tigers there as well.
Ooh, so everyone who's tuning into this, some unseen pairs coming over to Addicted to Kicks. What sizes are we looking at? A range, or is it more one size?
No, so we've got 12 women's, 10.5 men's, or 10 men's, and 11 men's. So a bit larger this time.
Yeah, that's fresh. Anyone who's hearing that, that's you, Baz, I reckon.
Oh, no, I don't need any more shoes.
Yeah, come on, Baz. You can't have enough.
Bank account would say otherwise.
Yeah. 100%.
All right, Baz, do you want to kick it off with the first question?
Yeah, I can do that for you. So you've had this is for you, Daniel. You've had quite a unique journey, and I want to dive into that and just on like the shoe culture inside when you were locked up, and like comparing from the inside to like how it is on the outside.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's changed a lot. Obviously in the past like 10 to 15 years. So I got locked up at the end of 2016. I spent 3.5 years behind bars. Most of that time I did in maximum. But the shoe culture in there, it's hard for the boys in there. So obviously they're considered to be, not illegal, but contraband of a sort. Obviously on the least end of that spectrum, but screws would often take the shoes away. But the biggest one in there would have to be ASICS. There was a few boys rocking around in TNs, but not too many. And then before I got out, started seeing a fair few like Quantums around, started seeing some Air Max 270s around as well. But I guess ASICS being, the OG grind shoe. Everyone's after the ASICS for sure.
Were there any like particular models in there that sort of stuck out to you? Like you say, you're walking around and there are people wearing ASICS. Were there any pairs that you're like, oh, they would go all right outside, like they would sell for a bit?
Wouldn't sell for a bit. I did see K20 Lightnings in there. The pair. But he was a Bigfoot. They were like a size 15 or something like that.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I had one of the guys actually had the Kayano 22. Which one was it? The like the salmon and dark grey.
The salmon and dark grey. Oh,
yeah,
I can't picture it right now.
Yeah, you don't actually see them very often. I've only ever owned one pair that I've sold, but I've pretty much never seen them since. But I'll flick you over a photo when we're done anyway in the group chat, and you can see what I'm talking about. You would have seen them around though.
So when they're in jail, like these people are in jail and they're wearing like what we would deem as some pretty fresh crepes. Do you think that they potentially buy those types of pairs knowing they're like that? Or is there some instances where the people have been locked up for such a long time that they came in with an old pair and it's just come right through their sentence? Or
yeah, so what normally happens, depending on like what sort of jails you first go into, so your property is taken in with you. And held behind reception. So they have boys that actually work in reception, and a lot of the time they'll actually, steal them out of people's property and, sneak them back in for the boys and sell them to the boys. So it's either reception sweepers are stealing your property or your shoes. You've got you can get them signed out sometimes, depending on if it's for like a medical condition. Some boys are just happy to get whatever as long as they're not the standard issue jail shoes. So a lot of people don't actually care. And the other side of it would be swapping shoes on visits.
Right. Oh, so like when you go to visit someone, they'll come in wearing a pair of shoes of yours to swap.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
It's a bit sneaky. It's a bit sneaky.
Yeah, so sometimes I'll get, like I had a pair of ASICS confiscated off me, but I got them off one of the boys that was doing time in a young offenders like program group type jail. Some jails you can actually order ASICS and they get put onto your property card and you get to take them sort of wherever you go. But yeah, I got pulled up a couple times for having ASICS on, and even one time I got walked out of the visit, and then they actually confiscated the shoes and made me walk back barefoot.
Wow. That's rough. Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
and when you say you can put ASICS on your property card, I assume you like buy them, what is the sort of standard price for when you're in there? How much would a pair of ASICS be?
So you can buy them through the jail. So they have like a contract or arrangement with, say, Sports Power, right? So these boys get a sheet every 3 months or whatever, and they can just tick whichever shoes they want, but they're not generally expensive. So they like to keep it affordable for everyone, because what happens is that if everyone's getting around in $250 pair of shoes, the likelihood is that dramas are going to start over it. So I think that's why they originally started to crack down on that big time, because a lot of people were getting robbed for their shoes, and then it was creating dramas and all the rest.
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing in the Australian culture. A lot of people know about the expensive shoes, and especially the Nike, and the ASICS has come into it more. I know ASICS has been around in jail a lot, but yeah, the prisoners' knowledge on all the shoes definitely could cause serious dramas, and it makes sense.
Yeah, they just put general shoes down, like shoes that would cost, say, $80 or something, because you got to remember that a lot of people in there don't actually have money.
Yeah.
A lot of them are broke. No one has, not no one, but there's a lot of people that don't have support outside, or family outside that are putting money into their accounts for them to get food, or whatever the case might be. So they like to keep it low cost and sort of general to everybody. So they'll probably put 4 or 5 different 4, 5, 6 different pairs on there for you to choose from, sort of thing.
Wow.
That's crazy. That is, full on.
Yeah, it's messed up place.
That's
doubt.
a crazy discussion, man, and appreciate you talking about that. And I don't want to touch too much on jail, because obviously it's a thing of your past and you moved on. And I wanted to ask, when you were in jail, obviously you were released, and then you began your Addicted to Kicks page. You started selling shoes. When you were in jail, was that a concrete plan? Like, you're inside and you're like, when I get out, I'm going to start selling shoes?
Nah. It was like the last thing on my mind. So, like I said, I got arrested at the end of 2016. So I believe that was sort of that crossover period between pairs being made in Vietnam, and then they were swapping over to Indo at around that time. So
yeah.
About 12 months later, I was getting friends coming in to visit, because I think I still had about 14, 17 pairs of V8 sitting at home, and some of them were brand new in the box, and some of the early Indos as well. It was never a plan. Like, I told my family to hold on to the shoes, even though my mates were contacting them to send them the pairs and whatever, so that they could resell or resto or do whatever with. So I heard pairs were fetching good money, so I was like, all right, well, we'll hold on to them until I get out, and then figure it out from there. So when I actually got out, I went to Tasmania to be with my parents just for a couple months, just so I could get used to being outside again. And I was trying to sell them on different pages on Facebook, and it wasn't really working out too well. I ended up selling a lot of them to Paulie Cells.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So when I come out, I couldn't wear TNs anymore. So I'd been wearing TNs since, 14, 15 years old, growing up in Western Sydney. And I couldn't wear them anymore. They were just so uncomfortable. So I ended up buying a pair of the K23 Snow Whites off Ray's Locker, and then just never looked back. It's just been ASICS ever since. Sold all the TNs off to Paulie Cells and a couple random different people. And then I tried to go back to work. So I used to work as a business development manager for Channel 9, TNT Australia. Works, the likes of those sort of big companies and corporate companies. And then I got walked out of I think 7 jobs last year after a criminal check came back. So that's sort of where I guess Addicted to Kicks eventuated from, was from being walked out from work, and then I realize now that I have to start something myself. Otherwise, how will I survive? Like, without going back to what I was doing before, obviously.
Yeah, so the rejection from what people would say like a normal 9 to 5 job actually sparked sort of a path where you had to rely on only yourself and make something of it. And obviously, if you don't already know everyone, Addicted to Kicks website is coming out soon. So the man has turned something out of nothing, and massive props to you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. It's been
that's great. That's great. It's good to hear.
To think, I don't know, it's just been nuts, man. Like I look back at last January, or the end of January of last year when I got out, and I literally had like $200 left to my name after that. So yeah, it was just crazy. And then now I look at it and I've, spent like 50 grand or something in the last 3 months on website and shoes and everything, just trying to get prepared. So that's like a crazy turnaround.
Yeah, that's
gnarly. I didn't know about that. When I was pulling out the website, the money, it filters through your account. Like, you make a lot and it just filters all through preparing for your domain and your stock on the website. Like, you don't want it to be dry. Then you've got to be getting all the dead stock because people don't want to wear worn shoes anymore. So
yeah, that market's drastically changing. Like, I knew it was coming, but this quickly. And also, I guess, like, I obviously won't go into it too much on here, but you guys know how we search for shoes. But I feel like everything's been so dry lately. It's crazy.
There's too many people doing it. Because
it's been a massive drop.
How easy it is to do. But like when obviously we all have our ways to do it. But like, it's just crazy now. Like, I don't know, like fucking 2 years ago, or even like a year ago, you'd look on eBay and you'd just see stacks of pairs.
Yeah.
Everyone's been getting on it. And, it used to be when I first started, and I'm sure when all you boys first started trying to get into reselling and finding these OG pairs, it was really a magician would never reveal their secrets.
Yeah.
But now a lot of cunts, they honestly will just, sell, like, they'll be like, yeah, I'll sell you my page for this much, and I'll tell you all the suppliers, and I'll tell you who you need to see.
Yeah.
It's changing a lot in that new generation, and we touch on that in almost all the podcasts because it is so relevant and it is so important to notice.
I think, like, personally, it's like if you don't move to new, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, but in saying that though, like, anything that's for sale has a cycle. So, we've seen for the last, few years or even longer, that it's been, the V8TNs and it's been the K20s. Well, we're already seeing some of the CMs, like the Quantums already fetch high prices. We're seeing new release TNs going for, 380 plus off drop. So, everything has a cycle. Like, there will always be money to be made, but it's, finding that extra capital to throw up to be able to buy brand new pairs and to stay alive while everyone's sort of making that switch. So I think we'll see a lot of those sort of my page is for sale type scenarios.
Yeah, I 100% believe in what you're saying. If people don't make that switch naturally, their page is just going to run out of gas and it's just going to burn.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because, like, my account really, I honestly reckon I've sold probably 3 or like minimal brand new pairs. Because when I started doing it just because I was young and I needed money, didn't have a job at the time, so I was just selling shit I had. And like, I just all my pairs are because I still do to this day. I always wear all my shoes. All my shoes I've got, I always wear. I don't buy pairs just to sit on them. But like, I agree. Like, my account definitely, like, I used to have heaps of buyers that would always want to be cash ready to buy stuff, but now I've noticed that with people just want brand new pairs.
Yeah, not just that too, but I think people are just, people are obviously weary. Like if you go and spend $1,000 on a pair of shoes, you're going to second guess. Like you're going to be checking the weather that day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially some Viet.
Yeah, well, yeah, Viets especially, but there's always that doubt as well that how old they are, like how quickly they're going to fall apart. I think they'll always be collectors. I think people will always pay the money for those pairs, but I think now those pairs are sitting for a lot longer versus before.
Yeah, I can definitely vouch for that because I got a fair few Kinsey, dead stock, everything, all that jazz from like 2011, 2013, and I've been sitting on them for ages, but I get one of those new pairs of GTs in and they just sell the next day. It's very hard to grasp how it's all shifting to the new stuff, and it makes sense, but it is a little bit sad.
I think reselling is based off a lot of nostalgia too, though.
Yeah.
Like everyone wants what they had sort of growing up, and I think the new generation will have that again. But it would just be a little bit different. Like if I was to look at anything to sort of hold on to and put away, it'd be early Indos. Some of the quantums that we're seeing already fetch those higher prices, and even those have been sitting. But I feel like in a couple of years that sort of cycle will then repeat again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good thought, Daniel. Yeah, I didn't think of it like that, but yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think it definitely will. If you've got the money and you're able to, stash pairs away. Like I know a few people have like a vault, and they're buying like a full size run and putting a few pairs away. I think that's very smart if you're in a financial position to do so, and that's what I'm starting to do now, is going through all my stock for the website and going, well, I've got a few pairs of those, I've got a few pairs of these, so start stocking them away and just forget about them for a while.
Yeah, 100%. And we spoke about this last week. We dived into the topic of patience and how key patience is in this game. So yeah.
If you're no good at patience, go to jail. That will teach you all the patience you need. Nah, it's 100% right though. If you've got the patience and the money to see it out, then they'll always sell.
Yeah. I wanted to change the topic a bit and get into this next question. So this is not just for Daniel, this is for everyone on. Obviously Nike has built the Air Max Plus TN. It's become such an iconic shoe, and it's always been that same shape and model, but each year, like each half year, they bring out a new season of colorways. And I was kind of wondering what it would look like if ASICS tried to take that same approach. If ASICS were to make a model of shoe and freeze it in time and just go like colorway after colorway after colorway each year, like how do you think that would affect the community? Would it be positive? Would it be negative?
I don't know, hey. Like,
yeah.
you're talking like if like ASICS had like a certain model that they just doing.
Say froze, just for example, the Quantum 360 CM, and they didn't change it. They didn't elevate any Quantum 360s. It was all CMs, but they would bring out new colorways each year, just like the Nike TN. They have that same model, but they bring out different colorways each year.
I like that idea because I'm a fan of the CMs. I like the CMs. I reckon they could do some pretty crazy colorways, obviously as an example with the CM. But I think that'd be pretty cool. But I don't know. It just really depends on. I don't know how ASICS would be able to find out what everyone's favorite model is, and then they worked from there. So I'm not too sure how they'd work that.
Yeah.
Everyone loves their K20s. So
I want them to remaster K20s.
The Kayano 30s. We've spoke on the Kayano 30s. Hopefully being a little bit of a tribute to that.
That's pretty cool.
But that's also I wanted to say on that topic of freezing a model of ASICS. If they were to do that, what pair would you want to see frozen and then just see new colorways each year? Like, what pair do you want to see?
20s.
20s, yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree. 20s for sure.
I could wear 20 for life, straight out.
Yeah, or Kinseys. I like Kinseys. I like Kinseys and Sendais. I like them.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a Kinsei 6 head, and I would want to freeze it a Kinsei 6, but I feel like if there's too many colorways of it, it could lose. I don't know, it could lose its touch, and that's why I wouldn't want to do it for the Kayano 20s because, you know, they're so special in the sense of the 20th anniversary, the rarity, just all that. So if I were to freeze a pair in time, I would definitely have to go down the avenue of Quantum 360 knits, probably the V1s. I wouldn't mind seeing some more colorways in the V1s personally, but yeah, that's just what I would be looking to freeze.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the V1s too. But I do get what you mean when it could just, you know, like you'll start seeing, if they were to do that, you'd just start seeing them so much more. And you just see everyone rocking them, and you'd kind of be like, oh.
Yeah,
it's like TNs. It's like the same as TN sort of thing. Like they've been out for what, 1995? I think.
1998.
98.
98.
Yeah, 98. Like they've been around for years, just, you know, pushing out different colorways. It'd be, in my opinion, it'd be the same principle as what we're talking about before. You know, bringing out the K20s. You know, everyone would be rocking them. Everyone would be, you know, bubing around in them and, you know, thrashing them, doing criminal shit in them. It would turn out to be, you'd hope not, but it'd sort of turn out to be like the PN sort of thing. That's my opinion of it, but it's a good one. I'd love the K20s to be retroed, but yeah, I reckon it would turn out like the TNs. You know, get too overflooded, too overpopulated. Too many people buying 20, 30 pairs of them and waiting 10, 15 years just to resell them off.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to like grasp in the question. Like, do you think it would actually have a negative or positive impact? And I agree with you, Brendo. I believe it would have a negative impact, and it would definitely flood the popularity, and it just take away from the specialness, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what happened with TNs. That's what happened with TNs a lot. Like, you know, Daniel, you said you've been rocking TNs since you were 14, man. Like, not a lot of people would have been rocking them back then. And if you were to see someone out and about, it, you know, there'd definitely be a criminal, or they'd be they'd be. Say again, sorry.
100%.
Yeah, you know,
I remember growing up, and it was sort of like, you know, I was one of the only ones at my school wearing them. So I grew up doing graffiti and, you know, involved with like, you know, a few different crews from that side and all the rest of it. And we all wore, you know, TNs and quite often ASIC Kayano as well. Like I had a couple of pairs back in the day. But yeah, 100%. Like people had this like stereotype that they would put onto people that did wear TNs at that time. And I look at those people now, you know, I'm 30 now, and those people, the same people that gave me shit, you know, back in school are now wearing them, and DEF CON and raves and this and that. It's like, fuck.
Same people that are paying $500 for some uni blues.
Yeah, exactly. Same people. So I think in a lot of ways, like it's sort of mainstream, but, you know, it's hard to say negative or positive, right? Because if that didn't happen, if TNs didn't become so normalized, and you see, you know, everyday girls wearing them now, you see like, you know, gym junkies wearing them, you see, you know, it's a big diverse group of people. So I don't even think that reselling would have even become a thing if it wasn't for the way that TNs went so mainstream. And I agree with the Kayano 20 that the Kayano 20, if they were to retro them, would turn out to be a lot like, you know, TNs. But I think now with the fact that 20s are so dry and so hard to get, that it might actually become a positive thing if you're sitting on this side of the fence, like with us being resellers and all.
Yeah. It could spark like a new wave of interest in the ASICS community.
Definitely. Well, you got to admit that the TN community is far greater than that of the ASICS.
Oh, 100%. 100%. There's no debate that the TN community in Australia has established itself. It's built the foundation, and it's killing it. But ASICS, from a reselling point of view, they've only really come on recently, and they're still just making the building blocks for it all. And yeah, want to see it become the TN community. I want to see it become as strong like that. You know, I feel like it's
the only way to do that would be the retro.
Do you think the retro would be the only chance of making that happen?
Yeah, because they change it up too often. Like, it's forever changing. Like, it's never like they're similar in their own sense, but they're still very different at the same time. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, and obviously the ASICS wave was heavily influenced by Grail, like we discussed before. But when we talk about shoes and we talk about Nike, how yes, they've got that same, it's the same silhouette model, but they got the different colorways and everything. Like other brands like Brooks and all that, they actually do the same sort of scheme as ASICS, where they do change the design of the shoe each year. So ASICS got like swept up into our community because of the jail scene and I guess the streetwear, like that culture. So ASICS are fortunate for that, but like you're saying, Daniel, it probably doesn't have that sustainability unless they do a retro.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing though. It's a good thing ASICS don't do that, because there's people in the scene who will buy like 10 pairs, who will bot the pairs on the ASICS website and resell them for $350 plus. It's bound to happen. It is, and that's what will happen if ASICS retro the K20s. It's 100%, 110% that will happen. And I know people who will do that. I don't, nothing against them. We're all trying to make money in the world at the moment, what it's like with COVID, but no doubt it's going to 100% happen. People are going to butt out pairs. People are going to push them out for $400, $500, maybe $600. You never know on the price, but definitely going to go above retail. It will turn out like the Tiffany's or any newer type of release.
Yeah.
If there's going to be a way to make money, there's always going to be people doing it. So 100%, Brendo, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's a positive thing. Sorry to cut you off, Baz. It's a positive thing though, like how ASICS change it up. They don't keep it on the same thing because it makes it new, and it makes having grails. Like if you have a dead stock pair of K20s, like there's not going to be a lot of people out there who has that exact same pair. Not like there is nowadays, how everyone has all the newer Indos or like Hates, for instance, as I was talking about TN France, he has 5 pairs of them. There's people around Australia who are going to have 5 pairs of them still, but there's not going to be a big chance of that. But there's not a lot of people who are going to have like 10 pairs of K20s or 10 pairs of dead stock Kinsei 6s or Sendais, sort of thing. So it's good how the ASICS scene's like that. I like that about the ASICS scene. It's very to find a dead stock rail pair floating around, sort of thing. It's good.
Very good.
Very positive. Yeah, very, very positive thing about the ASICS scene. That's what I like about it so much.
Yeah, I love it, man. I honestly love it about it all. And we talk grails, and that's the way these scenes are built. Whether you love it or hate it, that's what brings us all here. We're all doing the same thing, and we're just having a yarn. So. Do you guys have anything left to say? Any questions or any topics before we wrap this one up?
It's pretty off topic, but I know, Daniel, you're pretty big into your crypto from what I've seen.
Yes.
And I'd love to know what really. I know you could probably talk fucking hours about this shit. I'd love to know what and made you got you into that shit.
Into crypto. Yeah, I guess everything I do ties back into that whole situation of not being able to go get a normal 9 to 5. Like, I probably could. Look, I probably could go get one, but at the end of the day, my experience with it, I had 5 office jobs and I went for 2 warehousing jobs. One was actually at ASICS at Marsden Park at the factory there.
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, I was working there for a little bit, and it was just the same thing over and over and over again. So, but everything sort of ties back into that. So when I was thinking, I had like $10,000 spare in cash, and I was thinking, well, what can I do with it? And I was talking to a friend. I was going to invest in his business, and then he didn't want to accept the money, so I was like, all right. And then I started researching money, and I started researching stocks. I started researching literally everything to do with money. And stocks for me was too slow. And then I got onto crypto and I was like, fuck, this seems all right. So yeah, I just self-taught. I made a lot of mistakes, don't get me wrong. But I never lost my initial investment, which was the positive thing, I guess, out of all of it. So I put a little bit of money in, and then I ended up doing 4x on it in 3 months. And then it went through a massive crash. So I kind of saw that a crash was imminent, but I wasn't sure when. Sold out of all my positions, and then got FOMO because it just kept going up. And I ended up buying back in just before the crash, and I went from 4x to minus 3,000 or 4,000, and then now it's back up again. But yeah, I guess it just ties into that whole thing about money. So I was learning about money and assets and how worthless cash really is, and what cashless society really means for gold. COVID had a big part to play in a lot of decisions that were being made. I was looking at inflation, the printing of all the money that they've done for we had bushfires here, printed money, floods, printed money, COVID relief, printed money, vaccines, printed money. So it was just all when you start looking at money and understanding it, and you're going fuck, we're in a world, we're going to be in a world of hurt really soon. You can't keep printing money like that and then, not expect everything to crash. So when they print money, it's fake pumping the economy. So there was no point in me having that money sitting in the bank, because it would just be losing money. I wouldn't be making money on it. So I guess that's essentially what got me into crypto.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, because it's always something that I've wanted to look into, but it's I just don't know enough about it, and I need to properly look into it before, if I was to do anything, because I'm still young. So it's but it's just kind of thinking ahead. But I know 100%. You see people I saw this this a little what would I call it? This guy just made a post, and he was saying it was about many years ago, and he was telling all these people to invest in Bitcoin. Obviously, before Bitcoin, shit, you would have seen that.
Yeah,
and he was telling everyone to invest into it, and then then look where he is now. The cunt's got more money than the horse has hair. So
100%. I think for anyone who's listening to this, if you've got money in the bank, it's the most pointless fucking thing to have, is money sitting in the bank. It's so crazy, and it sounds stupid, but what I would suggest, if you're not in crypto right now, I obviously wouldn't go putting money in right now, and you will understand why I say that when you learn about the market cycles and how they work. But there will be a bear market next year, and these prices that everything's currently sitting at will drop by about 80%. So if Bitcoin makes it to $100,000, the likelihood is it will probably drop between 20 and 30 grand, and it will stay like that for about 2 or 3 years. So it's like shoes, the same thing. Everything has a market cycle. But I try and tell my friends, I try and tell everyone I know, get into it, have assets, have money working for you, not you working for your money. It's
while you're sleeping. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There's 24 hours in a day. Like, you can't just be earning money in your 9 to 5. Like, no one gets rich off a 9 to 5, right? Like, getting rich takes sacrifice and having assets and having money working for you every hour of the fucking day. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Like, it doesn't matter if you're out with your friends or you're fucking asleep or you're doing a shit. You need to be making money. So,
Yeah.
It's so true how it all ties back into shoes as well, because I'm sure as you're about to understand, like with your website, you can earn while you're asleep. You don't have to always be going through DMs with, you know, there might be one good DM a day, but 50 fucking boneheads just being absolutely killing your vibe. You're like, I'm over it. I'm not checking my phone. But man, the website is going to be exactly like that. You wake up and there's orders. You know, you're working whilst you're asleep. So,
that was the whole point. That was the whole point in the website. Is, you know, I get I'm sure other people get a lot more, but I'm averaging like 80 to 100 different people messaging a day on average, and it's like, I need to streamline this. This is just crazy. Like, I don't have the time. Like, I want to be, you know, once the website goes live, I'm going to be looking at something else to like fill up more time. Do you know what I mean? To make more money. Like, so we'll have crypto going, we'll have Addicted to Kicks going, and then we'll search for, you know, what the fuck is next. So stay hungry.
Like you said,
hustle.
Like, yeah, for sure. Like you said, with the having money in the bank, you may as well use that money to make money.
That's right.
Point just having it sitting there.
Well, that's what the bank does, right?
Yeah.
That's what the bank does with your money.
Yeah.
That's what the government does with your super. Like, and that's the crazy thing, is that all these people are using your money to make money, and you're not even using your money to make money. Like, how the fuck does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Like, you're getting what, 4% on your money, and inflation's almost just as high. Like,
not even worth it. Yeah,
it's not
worth it at all.
$10,000, what, 10 years ago is now worth $6,700.
Wow.
You look at a movie ticket for $2 in, you know, the 80s, and you're paying $40 today. That's inflation.
Yeah.
Inflation on everything.
All that money that the government just printed out, how the fuck do you think they're going to get it all back? Because everything goes up now. Everything goes up because they need their money back, right? So I feel like the true extent of COVID and the lockdowns and everything that happened hasn't even been seen yet. If you have a look
I've always thought that as well, but I never really wanted to, you know, especially on this, thinking we don't really want to talk political shit. 100%. I 100% agree with you on that stuff.
Yeah. I wanted to ask as well, Daniel, do you still have your Addicted to Crypto account?
I do.
Do you still use it?
No. So I was creating a 50-page document to essentially sell, to teach people everything that they needed to know, from what is crypto, how does it work, to like trading. And then I just found that like people were really lazy. So some people were saying like, how much? And I was like, well, $250 for the document. But they were more inclined to go spend $250 on a pair of shoes than to study and read this document. Like, you could have made $10,000 in 24 hours if you thought. So I just sort of, it was like talking to a brick wall. So I was like, nah, I'm just going to can it. So no, I haven't been using the account, to be honest.
Well, anyone listening to this who's looking for the wisdom, I'm sure Daniel's got a price. Doesn't want any.
Everything has a price.
Everything's got a price. If you want to pick this man's brain, go over to Addicted to Kicks on Instagram.
No boneheads.
No boneheads.
No boneheads.
Preach that one.
Yeah.
All right, lads, are we ready to wrap this one up?
Yeah,
that was grouse. Yeah, well, thank you very much, Daniel, for coming on. Thank you. That was a good one.
That was gangster.
Anytime. Thanks, guys, for having me.
Daniel, obviously, he's had a lot of experiences that, you know, money can't buy, so it's always good to pick that type of a brain. So, yeah, very appreciative you coming on today and sharing your insight with us. Big ups to Brendo and Baz, as usual. The boys kicking it. head over to www.sebzvault.com. All the pairs are there. Addicted to Kicks. His website's coming out soon. You know all the pages. So, yeah, cheers for coming on.
Yeah.
Cheers for being here the whole time.
Thank you, guys.
Daniel was sick.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Good being on.
All right.
Sure.
Easy.